For more on religion and tourism, I'm joined in San Diego by Kevin Wright. He's the National Tour Association Director of Growth Markets. Hey, Kevin, welcome to the show. Let me start with the security question because it's something that we've talked about a lot and thought about a lot. Is when you get so many people, whether it's a religious event or not, there's going to be a security situation. You heard a little bit about some of the precautions that are being taken, but that's probably one of the things that I guess people would think about if you're thinking of attending one of these big events. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely, security. But that's and it's a great question. That's one of the key reasons we, our associations, FTA, Faith Travel Association, and NTA, why we encourage group travel. When you do travel with a group, when it's organized by a tour operator, by a travel agent, there are built-in securities there. So that is a very good question, and it is very paramount.
I have read a number of articles I've got in front of me about how much this contributes to the economy. I don't think anyone has an exact number. But one of my questions I had was, how long do people usually go for when they talk about going on this religious trip? Is it a singular thing? They just go on one thing and they come back, or they combine it with other things that they might do that's nearby? Is it a 1 week thing or a 1 month thing?
Well, it depends if they're traveling internationally or if they're traveling within their country. If it's internationally, usually you're looking at about 7 days up to possibly 2 weeks, maybe 10 days being the average. If it's within a particular country, then it might be more like 3 or 4 days. But one area where we've seen a lot of growth within faith-based tourism, religious tourism, is even just one-day excursions to whether it's to a local event, a local conference, and so that could be one. So it does vary.
One of the studies by the Associated Press talks about some of the top places around the country that visitors go to for religious reasons. And Italy was on there, England was on there as well. When people choose where they're going to go, what do they think of? What's the number one thing that comes to mind? Is it really just religion? Does that supersede all other decisions?
That is the focus. The faith-based definitely is the focus, but where we've seen a shift in recent years is when people of faith do go on a trip, like as I mentioned, they want faith to be the focus, but they do want it to be balanced by traditional sightseeing. So if they're in Italy, they want to enjoy some gelato ice cream. They want to see the statue of David. So there is a balance there, but they do like the faith to be the primary focus.
Now, I have to ask you about the costs, because I imagine for a lot of folks, when you, especially international travel, it can be very, very expensive. You know what the room rates are in places in Europe. Not to mention, for the businesses, of course, they're going to charge as much as they can and within reason, because that's when they make their money as well. I mean, how do people try to keep their costs under control?
Yeah, well, number one, for many people, it's a lifetime dream to be able to embark on a pilgrimage or on a trip. So they save up their money. So that's one of the key things. A typical international trip might run several $1,000s, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. Oftentimes, airfare might even be half of that. But they do save up, and again, that's another key reason why a lot of individuals will go with group travel in an organized group. That helps bring down the cost. Again, our organizations, that's what our tour operators do.
If you and I ran a business and we wanted to, I guess for lack of a better word, target this demographic of folks who want to travel, I suppose you're conflicted, because on one hand, you should be there helping them ensure they fulfill their dream, but on the other hand, you're kind of greedy and you want to make money from them doing it as well. I mean, how do you balance that out?
Well, I think if you were to ask a tour operator or a travel agent who specializes in this marketplace, really the word that comes to mind is serve. They really want to serve this marketplace. They want to serve their travelers. In many cases, they develop really close relationships with their customers. It's a very relationship-oriented industry. And so, yes, there are costs to be, it does cost to stay at a hotel, it does cost to get on a flight, but there are great relationships that are developed between the customer and the seller in faith-based tourism.
Kevin Wright talking about religious travel for us from a place that has a little history itself. Pretty nice background there for travelers in San Diego. Thank you very much.